Okay, Dix. Tony Kanaan, 68 years old, 300 consecutive starts. Are you as impressed as I am?
300. 300?
In a row.
Are you sure that's right?
Yes,
in a row.
And he missed Detroit in 2001, or it'd be like 600.
Yeah, wow. I can't believe that.
You're
Are you sure
close.
he's 68? I think he's a bit older than that. I think
Is he?
he lies quite a bit about his age.
Well, he's got 4 kids, we think, that are his, and his hair, he doesn't put shoe polish in it anymore, but
he does keep having kids, man. He's good at that. He's good at that. He needs, he's practicing a little too much, I think.
I think he is too. But when you guys were teammates and stuff, he's just, the one thing about his whole career is he has been a breath of fresh air, and he's probably lightened you up. You were a pretty serious guy before you met him.
There is absolutely no one like Tony Kanaan. And I've had the pleasure to work with him. I think it's kind of hard because from the outside, when I wasn't a teammate with him, didn't know him that well, I'm like, he's pretty funny. But man, when you're in there, it was actually hard to get work done because the guy is so distracting, but in a really good and funny way. But good for team morale and just him and Lauren, just super people. And congratulations to TK.
Yep.
To be over 68 and having another baby is pretty impressive.
Well, and to not follow the seat like he usually does too. I mean, whatever he's taken.
We know he's fit.
Yeah,
we know he's real fit.
Well,
he trains, man. Well, for me, it's no other than Indy 500. His win at the Indy 500, and to see the crowd after that race was crazy. I've watched, even when I wasn't in the series, and watching him lead so many laps there and come up short, whether it was most of the time out of his control. So Indianapolis, Indy 500 for TK was a breath of fresh air and an awesome moment for all of us to witness.
Thanks, Dix. He's Brazil's answer to Lloyd Ruby, but he's not nearly as handsome. Okay, this is hard for me to imagine, but Tony Kanaan at the age of 68 is going to make his 300th start at this racetrack, and you were his teammate, and you knew him before he put Grecian formula in his hair and before he had 5 kids or 6 or however many he's got now. First of all, I can't believe he made it to that age, and secondly, 300 in a row is pretty impressive.
Oh, it's amazing. I remember growing up as a kid watching Tony race and then getting to race with him as a teammate and now watching him race against my son. I mean, congratulations on your 3,000th start, buddy. Keep going. I have a really good Tony Kanaan race memory.
Good.
I was leading the race at Michigan in 2006. And I had a big lead, but I was using more fuel, so I had to pit a little bit earlier than some of the other guys. And right as I came out of my pit box, I went full course yellow. And Tony was still on track, and he was the leader. And he was coming down into turn 1 as I was coming to the blend line. And if he had just stayed on it, he would have put me a lap down and would have ruined my race. But he saw me and took pity on me. He hit the brakes and slowed down so that I'd beat him to the blend line, kept me on the lead lap. Ended up winning the race, and that was thanks to Tony. So thank you for that. That was the only gift he ever gave me.
The thing that's interesting to me about Tony Kanaan is that I don't know when he started using hair dye on his hair like Danny Sullivan and some of these guys, because we know he's almost 70 years old, and he's made 300 straight starts, and if he hadn't broke his wrist back in 2001, it'd be like 700 straight starts. You were his teammate, one of his best pals. Are you? What's more amazing? He's still on the planet, or he's still racing?
I think that people still employ him at this point. I mean, he's old, right? I mean, I'm old, but I don't.
You're not that old.
But I don't drive a car anymore. No, the fact he's still in there fighting and he's still a threat to win. You go to the speedway, you still look at Tony, and him and Foyt just make me laugh when you see the pair of them. The earlier in the season when you see the two of them sort of, you think, what are they talking about? But anyway, I think it's amazing that he's still in the sport. He's still competitive. The fans love him, and but 300
in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 400 or something, 450 or something like that, all told. But I think
that's a lot.
Any particular memory when you guys were teammates of a Tony Kanaan race that was good or bad or jumps up?
A couple really. The one here in 07 where the championship was on the line, and he. Marco and I got together when Marco was leaving the pits. He didn't get the team orders memo that day that I was supposed to try and win the championship. But Tony then sat behind me and held everybody up and blocked for the rest of the race because my front wing was hanging off. And because of those because of those points, I won the championship. So that was one. I even had him a painting made. It's called Wingman, and it's him, Steve. It was fantastic.
That's great.
And so that was one. Fontana in 05 when I won, when he said he missed the, what did he say?
Did he say he missed?
He hit the pit lane speed limit, which was a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Because I'd helped him a couple of times when he was going for the championship and various things, and TK, being the guy he is, he paid me back, and that was it.
That was like the photo finish at Fontana, right? It was like Barrichello and Schumacher at Indy.
It wasn't even subtle, was it?
Wasn't, no, it wasn't very subtle.
He wasn't. He's not a subtle man, but he's God, I think if you think of Tony and all those races, you've got to look at Indianapolis 2013. I did not crash on purpose. I was in the medical center, and when he won the race, all the people, and even Trammell was crying. He wouldn't tell you. There was so many people just in tears that Kanaan had finally won at the Speedway. So that's my favorite of his races so far.
Well, the thing of it is that I think he ought to stop having kids, because there's an age limit in Indiana.
Well, he now has a daughter. Like Dixon and I, he has a daughter. I was going to ask him if he was going to name her Karma.
Karma. Don't date race drivers, Karma.
Oh dear. But no, it's fantastic. TK the dad is hilarious, because normally he's got no patience for anything, but now he apparently has a lot of patience with his kids, so that's pretty good.
Who does that remind you of?
2014, when he won at Fontana, he finally won in the 10 car. And in what style he did it. But then we went to see him on Victory Lane at Fontana, and he hadn't eaten. It was a long race. And he sculls the bottle, or doesn't scull it, but he takes a good old...
He sculls it. I like that.
He takes a good old drink out of the Fuzzy's vodka bottle, and TK is no drinker. And I thought whatever he had left in his stomach was going to come up. But he was a little merry in the press conference after that.
A little merry. So he can't drink like you. He's an amateur.
Neither of us can drink like Dixon.
Oh no, he's the king, and he's a sleeper.
He is a sleeper. I hope we get to see that Sunday night.
Oh, you will.